So today we're talking about Valentine's Day. It's coming up soon, and women feel all kinds of different things about it. Some women love it, some hate it, some feel kind of ambivalent, and it plays out differently in different marriages. So ladies, let's talk about it and then come up with some ideas for making it hopefully fun and romantic for all kinds of couples and marriages. So first of all, how do you feel about Valentine's Day? And how does it tend to play out in your marriage?
So I used to be flat out anti-Valentine's Day. I was that young person who was like, okay, you know what? This is just completely concocted holiday by Hallmark and florists and chocolate companies meant to defraud you of the money in your pocket. I was just that person, like angsty. I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with me never having a boyfriend on Valentine's Day. I don't know what it was.
Sour grapes.
Yeah. So I was totally anti Valentine's Day. And I've changed on that. So, I mean, I think it's a sweet holiday. And I really do think that if you are with somebody that it's important to them, you should get over yourself. My husband is actually a little more into Valentine's Day than I am. He likes giving me a card and I'll give him a card. And that's about it. It's a small thing. And we wish each other happy Valentine's Day. But it's a sweet reminder, I think, to be romantic.
We usually don't do a whole lot. We usually get each other cards. And my husband, who knows his wife well, always gets me flowers and chocolates. And we usually go out for dinner at some point. One year we did just a brief getaway at this really fancy hotel, and that was a wonderful Valentine's Day. But it's not one of those huge things for us, but I do kind of like it. I feel loved and chocolated and flowered, and that's all good.
Well, every marriage goes through a lot of different seasons. And I'll say in the past, Valentine's Day has been something I looked forward to. And usually it's cards and then a really nice dinner out somewhere. Occasionally there's gifts. But I'm in a season of marriage where it's just not what it was in the past. We'll put it that way. Things are moving forward. Things are positive. There's things on the horizon. This year, there will be a dinner out because we're trying to rebuild. But this year, it's just not the same.
I think it's good to mention that because, for a lot of couples or in certain phases of their life, it's just not a really positive or something to look forward to. So yeah, I think that's good to mention. Yeah, so we usually do like a go out to dinner thing. Sometimes my husband gets me flowers. He always gets me a card. I admit he does better than I do with that kind of thing. Where we live, there's not much going out to dinner going on. So a lot of places here, we do live in a warmer climate. A lot of places have expanded their outdoor eating. So we might see if we can get something outdoors, but we might just have to defer it and get some takeout from our favorite pizza restaurant. I don't know. It's definitely, a different kind of year. If you're used to going out for a fancy dinner or you're used to taking a little trip or whatever, it's probably going to be different this year.
Bonnie, I'm so glad you mentioned that some years Valentine's Day isn't great, because I do know some women who have had really difficult situations on Valentine's Day, whether it's just unmet expectations, which sometimes we're responsible for ourselves, or an argument about something.
I think this is one of the things too, is that when a couple has different expectations of the day, that's when the issue seems to arise. It's fine if a couple wants to do a big blowout for Valentine's, or they just want to exchange cards, or this year they're just giving it a pass. The problem is when one of you thinks it should go like A and the other thinks it should go like B, and or Z. A and B aren't so bad. A and Z not so great.
You know what can sometimes help with that?
What?
Communication.
I was going to guess you were going to say exercise, but no. Communicate.
What are your ideas about celebrating Valentine's Day? Do we have any ideas for our listeners? This could be date ideas, but it could be something completely different than a date.
If you're going to do something at home, you can get one of those heart-shaped pizzas.
They make heart-shaped pizzas?
Cut it into a heart shape yourself.
Oh.
And so not too exciting, but if you need to celebrate at home and are looking for something fairly cheap, heart-shaped pizza can work.
There you go.
You could do a blindfold taste test where you blindfold each other and then choose things out of the refrigerator.
Clean out your crisper drawers.
That might be a little risky in my house.
You meant delicacies, but you mean leftovers.
Actually, that's interesting because one of the ones on my list was cooking a meal or making a dessert together, because I think that that can be a good experience of doing something together, and especially if you come up with something new to make together, and that new experience can be something you share, and you know, whenever you experiencing a new thing together, you kind of have some of the same chemicals firing, some of the same emotions as when you're falling in love. So new experiences with your old mate can be romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to suggest funny YouTube clips. Make a night of just sitting and watching your favorite funny YouTube clip. I have one that I watch when I'm really depressed because it just lifts me. You know, there's tons of those funny clips, and there's old funniest home videos. And since we're stuck in the house, and
some people are in situations where they, you know, especially this year, where if you have children, you know, Valentine's Day might need to be a family event, which you can do some really meaningful things with your kids. But I think it's also important to make sure that you do, if you're doing that, to make sure you're also spending some time with just your spouse. You know, that's a challenge for us because we live with my father-in-law, and so he can be left alone for a while. We certainly can go out, but he very much misses his late wife, and we try to be sensitive about doing things. Like last year, we didn't go out on Valentine's Day because we wanted to make sure he didn't feel alone on that particular day, so we celebrated at a different time. And I think that, you know, especially if you have, whether you're caring for an older person or you have children in your home, you might have to get a little bit more creative or just expand how you celebrate.
I've seen some really cute things where the couple involves their kids in the romantic thing, like the kids serve the candlelight dinner to mom and dad or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think along the lines of like laughing together, you know, because it's good for your hormones and brain chemicals, is to get outside together. Also because we have been cooped up for like 10 months and it is the winter and we're all sick of the whole thing. You know, if you have a nice day around Valentine's Day, if you can just like get outside in the sun, take a walk, take a hike, do some outdoor, you know, ride bikes, that's really good for your brain chemicals and your mental health too. And another thing I have, and this is like if your husband tends to do things for you for Valentine's Day, if the focus is more on you, then maybe like the next day or the day after, kind of do a day where he'll have a focus on him, doing something, you know, just doing a couple of things that he likes. If you like to be the queen on Valentine's Day, and who doesn't, you know, but then you can just turn it around and the next day or whatever, give him a little bit of the focus too.
I think this whole thing of shared experiences is so important, and whatever that looks like. One of the other things that we've done that I just find very romantic, and we usually only do like one song, so it's just a few minutes, but you know, dancing in the living room or on the back porch or whatever. And I think Bonnie, you had some a program that you had.
Yeah, there is I wish I had it off the
show. Was it Show Her Off or something?
Show Her Off dance lessons. Yeah, at home
Yeah.
dance lessons. And I previewed them and they are very doable. You don't have to be a, you know, dancing queen or king to
Right.
learn how to do these simple steps. So yeah, thanks.
But yeah, just that romantic. And I got to tell you, I mean, my husband is, okay, you know what? I'll just say it. Even if he's listening, he knows this is true. He has not a lick of rhythm. And yet we can still, sway back and forth, and he can do some very basic dance step stuff. And it's just very romantic to be in his arms. So
Bonnie, maybe you could put some links. You had a whole series of posts about different kinds of music and playlists.
Yeah.
And so I think for people who need something that they can do from home and want to try some dance or just love making music for the background, I think that would be a really great resource for
Okay.
them.
another thing we've actually done, but we did this when we had the youth group over, but I think you could do this too. And you can get whole things of this, but karaoke, like you could pull up a bunch of duets and just karaoke together all night. And it would be silly and fun and shared and just, and singing to each other.
And you don't have to carry a tune. It only says make a joyful noise.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with how it sounds. It has to do with your heart.
Yes.
My husband won't sing or dance.
Wow. Not even in the privacy of your home?
No,
I'm sure he does lots of other wonderful things.
he
though.
does.
That's all right.
I might be able to talk him into slow dancing around the living room, possibly.
If you're naked, he'll probably be more likely to be
With your
persuaded.
naked dinner? Weren't you
Naked
going to do a naked dinner?
It was naked breakfast.
Breakfast, naked breakfast.
That was not
Okay.
me.
Oh,
Well, I
just
suggested
if
it to
you're going
you.
to do that, you need to wear an apron. I mean, I'm just a little worried about the whole safety issue.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
I had one more suggestion, and it's
Yeah.
from what you were saying, Gay, about being outside. And this is a suggestion I really want to do, and it's geocaching.
Oh.
It's like a
yeah.
treasure hunt. There's a site, geocaching.com. We are receiving no money from that,
Yeah.
but it looks really interesting. I actually signed up today.
I have some other friends who do it, and it really is one of those shared adventure things. And when they want to get away for a weekend, it kind of gives them a focus for what we're going to do. And yeah, I signed us up, but we haven't done any of it yet. So
Yeah, well, we haven't either.
And I mean, for that reason, also museums are interesting, which I'm not going to museums right now, but I would go to someplace maybe like a sculpture garden or there's some arboretums or some like the floral gardens. What are those called? Just gardens, I guess.
botanical gardens.
Botanical. I know. I was like, there's a word for it. Botanical gardens.
Or a zoo. Our zoo is all outdoors. Are most zoos outdoors?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, actually that's an interesting idea. We live very near the old Route 66, and there's an old Route 66 museum in town. And I thought, well, we could go do that as an adventure, because my husband lived here his whole life until he graduated from high school and never went to it. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we like to go also see places that are, the state parks and the national parks and preserves and things like that, which are a good option now. And like, in the middle of the total lockdowns last spring, we actually took one day to drive out to a state park and walk around, and we were able to stay distant and safe and check out new places. It was really fun.
Okay, I just want to mention one more thing about museums is what do you call it? Not tours. Was
Like
it tours?
virtual
Virtual
tours.
tour.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
great. And so from there we started watching some travel documentaries on Amazon and Netflix. Just like I love Scotland, so we watched a zillion Scottish travel documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
So but there's lots of
Yeah,
different
that'd be
countries
fun. You
could
could
go visit.
watch travel stuff and then plan for a trip you want to take. All right, finally, what about gifts? Since we're talking mainly to wives, what are some ideas for fun or romantic gifts that wives could give to their husbands?
Wow, my suggestion for a gift is so much different than that.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
No, Dave recently asked for compression shorts for running. So he's trying to get in shape for the spring. And I was just going to suggest, if your husband has said he wants something recently, go buy it.
Get it? Yeah.
Just go get it.
I think that there's lots of different things that you can do. Like one of the things that I got these Married is Great shirts. And I mean,
Yeah.
these days we're wearing a
Those
lot
are
of
cute.
jeans, shorts, and yoga pants around this place. and so they go with all of those. And it's just kind of a nice thing we have. And, just, or some other t-shirt or clothing wear that celebrates your status as a couple or your love for each other is kind of fun.
So did you ever get a really good or really terrible Valentine's gift?
So my idea of, okay, it's both good and terrible. I get,
Wow.
when I get a box of assorted chocolates, I'm like so excited because it's chocolate and I love chocolate. But if the box does not come with labeling for what the assorted chocolates are, then I might have that experience of biting into one and being like, oh, no. So then it's terrible. I'm like, so
Really?
if somebody's
There's
going to give me
chocolate you don't
chocolates,
like?
well, it's not, I like the chocolate exterior, but there could be something inside I don't like.
Like an orange cream or something?
Ooh, those are
You need to be
yummy.
prepared for
Mm.
that.
I
I
don't
love
know.
that.
But
I
and
love-
like my husband doesn't like coconut, so he doesn't want a coconut cream. So my feeling is if you're gonna give somebody this sort of chocolates, make sure it has the labeling
The label.
thing.
Yeah.
See, that could be your adventure. Okay, honey, I'm blindfolding you. You don't know which chocolate you're getting.
Right.
Yeah, well, and what that would work in my house. It'd be like great, and then I bit into it and then I spit it right back on him. That would not be romantic. But if you want to be adventurous, you can throw away the label card. You could just
I
toss
a lot
it
of times
aside.
will get I'll get M&Ms like the different holidays. So I'd get the red, white, and pink M&Ms, and then I make chocolate chip cookies. Only I use the holiday
Aw.
color M&Ms for
Yeah,
that.
cute.
That's just a fun thing to do, and that was something I used to do for my kids too.
So
I think my
it's-
favorite Valentine gift is when he gets my car detailed.
Ooh,
I just love a clean car.
that is nice.
Oh.
That that ties into something I was just thinking, which is think about your spouse's love language when you get a
Mhm.
gift, because so that this may not be your love language, but that's like an acts of service gift as opposed to, like a material gift. But like if you're so receiving gifts is not my love language. I'm not saying I don't like a good gift, but that's not my primary thing. So like think about your spouse. What is his love language? And then do something that fits with that.
Yeah, you're right, Gaye. I really like that idea of because gifts are about the receiver. They're not about you. And it took me a long time to realize that, even like just buying wedding gifts or whatever. And I would say, registries, they're going to get whatever I want to give them, and then I realized, no, giving gifts is about the receiver. And a really thoughtful gift says so much more than any amount of money.
If your spouse has an Amazon wish list,
Good idea.
go there and get something on it.
One of the things I will say is if you are a hubby listening to this, I know we do have some hubbies, you should know what kind of flowers your wife likes. Because, for instance, there's this assumption a lot of times that it's Valentine's and you give her roses. I like roses. They're nice, but they're not my favorite. And so my husband now knows if he was going to go buy me flowers, I would prefer to get a happy flower like the daisy. I love daisies. And I mean, maybe it doesn't seem as romantic to someone else, but it's what I like.
I don't like roses either. When I was a little kid, I had all these great aunts and uncles that kept passing away. And we'd go to the funeral home and there would be that rose smell.
Oh.
I don't like roses either.
So what's your favorite flower?
An iris, a purple iris.
Oh, I do love those. I love roses, but I don't love getting them every time I get flowers. And my husband knows that.
What's your favorite flower, Gaye?
I don't know that I have one, but you know what I cannot stand is I cannot stand to get those flowers that get shipped to you.
Like
You know what I
1-800
mean?
flowers? Yeah. Mhm.
Because I despise arranging flowers so much. It is so stressful for me. And when
Oh.
you get those, you have to arrange them yourself.
Yes.
And I finally had to tell my husband, please do not send me these. It is so stressful to me. Isn't that crazy? I know that's crazy.
But it's great. Look at that
No.
communication and
I
how
know.
many conversations did it take?
Yes. And you know yourself. You know your
Yeah.
needs.
But the thing is, it's not that you didn't appreciate the thought. And sometimes that's the
Right.
thing, is to nicely say, what is it you would like to get from me? And here's what I would love to get from you.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny though. My therapy through the past few months is I go to Costco and I buy those giant bundles of flowers and I come home and arrange them.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's
How
too bad you
funny.
guys don't live
time
closer.
The next time I come to your house, maybe we could have a flower arranging tutorial.
Absolutely. You
Oh,
got
that
it.
would be
I
We'll
do
do it.
not. The only flowers I get from my house, I have a nice vase on my kitchen table that my son got me in Mexico, and I like to keep it filled. And I found these flowers at Publix that you do not have to arrange. You bring them home, you cut them to the right length, you stick them in, and they just flow open by themselves and look beautiful. I'm like, there.
You know
that
what's
is my
really
kind
amazing?
of flower.
Perfect.
You know what's really amazing? Silk flowers.
You arrange
I
them
can
once
keep
and you're
those
good for
alive.
life.
Yeah.
Just gotta
I
dust
can keep
them.
those alive.
That's how I always do feel when somebody gives me a plant. I just want to say, thank you, but please don't give me a plant, because all you've done is that's a death sentence for this poor plant. I will kill it. It's just a matter of time. Another really good idea, I think, is something that you put together yourself, which kind of incorporates several of the love languages. And there's so many ideas online for this, but putting together something like, writing out date night ideas or coupons or things like that, and then like putting it together in some sort of presentation so that what your husband opens is not just something for that day, but something that gets kind of cashed in for the rest of the month or the year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
It's a lot of work. I don't know
What
that
are
I'm
the
doing.
kind-
it, but
what what kind of cards do you make out? I mean, what kind of things do they redeem?
but I'm just saying, like, some of them, it could be like, play a board game, or, get a kiss today, or have a massage, or, I mean, it could just be any kind of
Choose
things.
the
Or
location for a kiss, like on your body.
you might, on Valentine's Day, maybe you write out places you want to go that year and then put them in, a thing. And then, like, whenever you have a free weekend, you pull one out and you go do it.
All right, ladies, any final words about Valentine's Day?
I think just know your expectations, and as Gaia said, communicate about your expectations, because I mean, just knowing what page you're both on really helps, because you don't want to be disappointed.
One thing that really helped me was to remember that Valentine's Day was not about the queen of the house, but it was also about I know. It's also about my husband, and it's about our marriage, and it's completely okay to expect some things that you communicate clearly to your husband, but I think it's really important that we are giving of ourselves in some way as well. Make him love Valentine's Day as much as you want to.